All right, what up, Zoo?
What up?
This is Halloween evening. We're about to get into some controversial topics.
Wow, isn't this special? 17 years ago, I was sleeping in my car behind the Comedy Store in LA, and I'm proud to say this is my 4th time performing at Madison Square Garden, the most famous arena in the damn world. The American dream alive and well right here.
He's like, I came from the bottom, now I'm here. Came from the bottom, now the whole team's here. All right.
This is very different than where I'm used to performing, though. I'm used to nighttime with people drinking, not so many babies in the crowd, and people that are obviously only here for Lee Greenwood tonight. Normally, I don't make my political beliefs a known thing. It's divisive for a comedian to do that, but just know I sleep well at night knowing who I'm voting for. Yeah. When I lay down and my head hits my pillow, it is a fantastic pillow, by the way. I was staying at the 4th.
All right, yo, I'm going to cut him off. All right, so this is how he's plugging his own sponsor, right?
My Pillow. No, you remember My Pillow?
Yeah. No, I do.
What about thing with Trump?
Oh, tell me, what is it? I'm missing the reference.
No, there was a whole controversy because I think the guy from My Pillow was a drug addict and supporting Trump. He was like a criminal and a drug addict and crazy, like very.
I'm here thinking that he's plugging his own sponsor, someone's paying him to drop this during his speech.
Now, My Pillow was a controversy in the first campaign cycle.
I didn't know that. Yeah. Or maybe I forgot that. Yeah.
That's why it's a joke because of Trump. I'm gonna look it up.
Let's do this. Yeah, look it up. We'll play it.
Seasons up by Central Park one night, and I laid my head down, and it felt so good. And I thought to myself, what an amazing pillow. I have a little bit of money now. I could buy a good pillow. And I took the pillowcase off, and there it was. My pillow, my pillow, my pillow. And damn it, I bought 4 of them. And if you use the promo code KillTony, you can also buy 4 My Pillows.
Wait, are you positive he's not plugging My Pillow?
I'm sure. Look, Donald Trump ally Lindell, who's the CEO of My Pillow, asks court to overturn award for debunking U.S. election claims. Yeah, he was a big supporter of Trump, but he was crazy or is crazy. I don't know. He's a drug addict, so when he speaks, he's like very hyper and whatever.
Okay.
And he's
I was about to say he sounds like us, but no, you're describing the opposite.
Yeah, no, he's like a nutball, and he was a big, huge supporter of Trump. I think, Lindell has been a steadfast supporter of Trump. He was among
Lindell.
Yeah, Mike Lindell. He's the CEO of My Pillow.
Got you.
So people were saying, "Oh yeah, of course, like he's crazy, so of course he's supporting Trump and blah blah blah." But yeah, it was a big thing in the last election, and I think it's mostly because
how did you get that in France and I missed that over here?
It was huge. It was a big thing. Probably from Stephen Colbert and watching stuff like that. I don't know.
True. Yeah, true. All right. Fair enough. Thank you for the reference, though.
Sure.
There's serious stuff happening, people. I live in the great state of Texas now. 18 years in Ohio, 20 years in California, and I got to see California turn to absolute horrendous thing. And traveling the world, I got to see San Francisco turn into one of the most demented cities, one of the greatest downfalls I've ever seen. And that is where the other candidate worked for 2 decades. And It's absolutely wild to see. And in Texas, stuff is really, really crazy. We're right there by a wide open border. Where are my proud Latinos at tonight? You guys see what I mean? It's wide open. There's so many of them. It's absolutely incredible. Believe it or not, people, I welcome migrants to the United States of America with open arms. And by open arms, I mean like this. It's wild. And
his first shot at Latinos. That's fucked up.
these Latinos, they love making babies too. Just know that. They do. They do. There's no pulling out. They don't do that. They come inside, just like they did to our country.
Yo, I mean, this is hilarious, but yo, this is a bad pick to put up as the first speaker at your rally in New York, right?
I don't know. I mean, I think that so far, I don't find anything offensive. I think clearly he's setting them up as a joke. But even if I'm Latino, you know, he said, I love Latinos. And then the, you know, immigration, you know, I think everyone agrees that legal immigration is what built America. I mean, it's not up for debate, right? We're all immigrants to a certain extent in America. And I think that he's not saying anything. At least so far, even if I'm Latino, I don't find anything offensive that he said.
Even if you're Latino, you can just do that?
Huh?
You could just assume.
No, if I was Latino, I wouldn't be offended by anything. Unless I'm super woke and trying. I think the media is trying to find something wrong with it.
Of course. You know? Yeah, no. There's nothing.
Like even said, I saw a clip. I saw a clip where they beeped out when he said they come in. You know, they don't pull out.
Okay.
So they were like vulgar, and I'm like,
yeah, I think I saw that too on CNN,
you know?
or something.
Yeah, and it's like,
yeah, they're definitely amping it up, trying to make it sound way worse than it really is. But
and
nonetheless,
I think
this is a presidential race,
right? But but responding to your comment, I think it's. Even though I think Trump shouldn't have lied and said, I don't know who he is, I think that it was intentional, okay? No one is bringing, like, we've both agreed that Trump is a funny guy, right? That's part of his appeal, is his personality, right? And so I think he's like, yo, these political rallies are too stiff. You know, there is too much about politics, you know, let's let it be about fun and people and jokes and laughter. You know, I think that was the intention, you know?
Yeah.
So
as a war, can I tell you something? Yeah. When I heard him do the whole My Pillow plug, I was thinking, because, you know, all podcasts have their sponsors and whatnot. And I was thinking, like, this dude is trying to use the platform to go viral and pad his pockets. So, like, you know, he's making a plug, but even if that plug was not a plug and it was just a joke referring to some other scandal in the past with Trump, you know, I think on some level as a comedian, he understands the gravity of the moment, and he's like, yo, I'm about to be on the news. Like, I gotta say something as a comedian. I gotta say something that is pushing the envelope and that gets me on CNN. You know, do you remember when Kobe died? The comedian Ari Shafir.
Yeah.
He said all those things about Kobe, like, you know, like, good, I'm glad he's dead, rapist and all this other shit. And he got significant backlash for it, but at the end of the day,
no press is bad press. I mean, all press is good press. Yeah,
there you go. Same
but
thing.
Also, I agree with that, but also, there's no doubt about the type of comedian he is. So he was on Kill Tony, and even you said Trump has probably never seen Kill Tony. I agree. I don't even like that show. It's not a great show. Like, I don't watch it. I mean, I've seen
funny.
it.
It has its moments.
It's okay. It has its moments, but on that show, he's roasting the comedians. Then on the Netflix, who's that football player? Tom Brady. That was when he kind of rose to fame a bit more, because that was apparently the most streamed Netflix show of all time, right? The most stream or the most watch minutes, I think, was the KPI that they used. Like, it was very successful, right? And so he objectively was one of the best, if not the best, comedians on that dais.
Yeah, he's funny as hell.
Yeah, he was great on that. And I think that, so there's no doubt about the type of comedian he is. Like, he's coming on here to do what he does. I don't think it was that deep where he was like, let me say something super controversial. I mean, even Rogan said he's heard that same joke about Puerto Rico before, and it kills every time. But it's a different audience, you don't have every media channel watching you.
Different audience and, different setting, like
even he said that. He said, usually I'm at night and there's no babies, he said it.
Word. All right,
He's just doing what he does.
I don't even know if we got that far yet. Let's see.
He said it.
Republicans are the party with a good sense of humor. Free speech is under attack, people. I host a show, and each week I get updates what words we're allowed to use and not use anymore. It's happening right now the past few years. It's a real thing. And, used to be able to tell people to Google stuff. My mom's a boomer in the state of Ohio, and there's no convincing her of anything. She's eating the cats. She's eating the dogs. They're eating the pets up there. It is absolutely wild times. It really, really is. And, there's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there.
So the audience even responded less than favorably to that comment. I mean, it's not a bad joke, I guess.
Again, normally I don't follow the national anthem, everybody. This isn't exactly a perfect comedy setup. There's some people here. All right, very good. I like it. I have other policies that I think it should be implemented as well. Like, me personally, I think football should be all year round. Yeah. So many great athletes. I don't know about you guys, but I think that Travis Kelce might be the next O.J. Simpson.
Wow. New Jersey, we got a lot of wow to go around.
Feels good in here. The other side's got a lot of crazy endorsements. Swift, Eminem, Leo DiCaprio, Beyonce. Every day the Democratic Party looks more and more like a P. Diddy party. Oh, okay. Okay, that's what you guys want. All right. Heck yeah. It's a cool black guy with a thing on his head. What the hell is that? A lampshade? Look at this guy. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm just kidding. That's one of my buddies. He had a Halloween party last night. We had fun. We carved watermelons together. It was awesome. You guys are, this is a groany little morning crowd.
Yo, so it's interesting that they picked the comment about Puerto Rico and they didn't pick the watermelon comment.
No, they did. They picked the watermelon.
Oh, they did that one, sir.
Yeah, they did that.
Yeah, I mean, why leave anything on the table? It's like you can cost Trump some Latino votes and some black votes, and I mean that's like a wet dream for the Harris.
Yeah, but it's the craziest part is, like, was a theme, a trend with comedy in the past. As you know, you're a big comedy watcher like me. In I don't know, the past year or so, it's gotten better. But around COVID, people were ultra woke, and comedy was under fire because anything people would say would be taken as a literal, belief of the comedian, whereas comedians are really just trying, it's shock and awe. Like, that's the point. It's not, yes, there's some truth to some of what comedians say, most of them, but a lot of comedians are just making jokes, literally. And a lot of those jokes are offensive, like, I laugh at Jewish jokes. You probably laugh at black jokes. I mean, some of them are funny, like, that's the point. You have to have a sense of humor. And I think that's what he said. He said Republicans are, free speech and making it fun, like, that's the whole point of this. And to take it any other way is just intentionally trying to object to something that's non-existent,
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, this is like, if you've seen enough comedy, this is just kind of run of the mill.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially of him. Like, he's made me like laugh out loud on several occasions, and like nothing that he's hitting here is coming close to what I would expect of him, But
but it's the same theme.
It's him, but it's like, this is not his top material. He's been funny in the past. But anyway, all right.
Proud, huh? It's tough to follow this audition for the next Commissioner Gordon's over here. It is, though. It's crazy times we're living in. I mean, all these pointless wars. It is unbelievable what's happening right now. It is incredible. Ukraine versus Russia, Israel, it's like bad soccer games. Who even cares? What are we doing? Why is our money involved in these wars? When it comes to Israel and Palestine, we're all thinking the same thing. Settle your stuff already. Best out of 3. Rock, paper, scissors. The Palestinians are going to throw rock every time. But you also know the Jews.
That's a good joke.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't fret. but it's
have a hard time throwing that paper. You know what I'm saying? All right, we're having fun now. We're cooking. Hillary Clinton said that this is a Nazi rally here today. Can you believe that? For the most anti-war president of my entire lifetime, and she calls him Hitler. Let me remind you, Hillary, it was your husband who shot innocent people, or as he called them, interns.
That was another good joke. I like that.
Yeah, Hillary, I bet you did not see that one coming. By the way, if I commit suicide in 3 weeks, I didn't. I mean, it's just obvious to me who the right candidate is. There's a guy out here dodging bullets. It is unbelievable, right? He took it right in the ear. Unbelievable. I thought about this. I don't know if you have. Coolest place to get shot. Like, if you're gonna get shot anywhere on your body, that's where you want it. Right there. Technically, he got shot in the head, depending on if you're a Democrat or a Republican. Right? If you're a Democrat, his ear was grazed. If you're a Republican, he survived a headshot. It is. It's the best place to get shot. It's the only part of the human body will drive a piercing through like a little girl's ear for no reason. right? There's just it heals fast. Nobody cares. It's the best place to get shot. He went down, saw blood on his hands. I'd imagine he thought right then, I think I just won this shit.
That's what I thought. When I saw that shit happen. I think I was watching it live when it happened. Or it might have been like a rebroadcast a couple moments after it happened. But yo, I was like, there's no way that this motherfucker is not gonna win. Like, it's done. But then what happened was they just stopped talking about it. Like, they refused to talk about it at all.
I was in Morocco at dinner, and my friend was like, "Oh, did you hear Trump just got shot?" I was like, "No, he didn't. Come on."
Yo, it's crazy. An assassination attempt. You would think there would be like some big ass investigation going on right now. There would be like a whole 60 minutes expose on the shooter. Like they would going all out. Like, this is the biggest story. This is history. Like, how many times have they tried to assassinate a president or ex-president or any political figure in our country? And to think that it came so close to being successful, and like the circumstances, and then the image of him like pumping his fist with the American flag behind him.
Yeah.
And like, it's like a movie, and none of these fucking media companies want to touch it with a 10-foot pole because it's gonna make him look better and increase his chances of winning the election. So they're willing to sweep this event under the rug, like, and act like it never happened. Like, you won't hear anyone speak of it. You know what I mean? And it's kind of crazy if you think about it.
Yeah.
Stands up and says the most American words I've ever heard in my life. No. Before that, there was one more. Let me get my shoes. Fearless. Perhaps still with an active shooter. He's talking like a guy that just had the best one-night stand of his life. Right? Like, where's my shoes at? I got to get the hell out of here. Let me get my shoes. And then the fight. What he did was so cool that Biden got COVID. Oh, yeah. Go back. Look at the timeline of everything again. 3 days after that. That means that Biden, he didn't get that from hanging out with sick people. He was in a sterile room in the White House watching blood running down Trump's face as he pumps his fist. Biden's like, oh, fuck. Oh, God, no. It's true. Trump survived an assassination attempt and Biden got COVID. We vote next week. God voted 3 months ago.
That's a dope line right there. What's up, yo? I lost you, yo.
It's just a little boring. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, it's not his best, but he's trying to balance like the setting with he was still being like a valid comedian. He's gotta pay his dues and be true to what he does, but he can't go. I guess he did go crazy with the Puerto Rico comments and the watermelon comments, but
I mean,
he took it's not that much. He took digs at the president. He took digs at Trump.
Yeah.
The whole I gotta get my shoes. So he's kind of clowning on him a little bit.
And my pillow was a dig against Trump too, because the My Pillow guy is a nutcase, and so
yeah, I mean, so everyone can get it.
Yeah.
Can't hate on dude that bad. But they're not hating on him. They're hating on Trump. They're trying to act as if Trump said those comments. They're desperate. They're like basically anything that'll pass. And this one was handed to them on a platter.
I think the main argument is that Trump is like also it wasn't only Hinchcliffe. There were other things said by other people at this rally where it was very divisive. I think they were trying to, I think, as you said, like they're not trying to gain any votes, really. I think they're trying to appease the people already in their base. Like, this is who we are.
No, that's not what I meant. What I meant is that on the flip, like these comments by this comedian, and I'm not familiar with the other inflammatory remarks that you say were said at the rally, but this example, he may lose some people who are on the fence, but people that are already going to bat for him, that are like, I'm voting Trump, like this is nothing. Like they're, like, and that's why I was saying, where's the P video? You know what I mean? It's like, even that ain't gonna do it. Like people that are for Trump are for Trump. Like it's very divided like that. The very few people that are undecided, this might, if you're Puerto Rican or I mean, if you're incensed by these comments, you're probably already incensed by everything else having to do with Trump, and you're probably voting Kamala, right? If this is really like the straw that breaks the camel's back, then I'm trying to figure out what type of person is here where it's like, oh, I'm thinking about Trump, and then but this guy said something, a comedian made a joke about Puerto Rico, so I can't do it. Sorry. I feel like that person doesn't exist. If this is gonna prevent you from voting for Trump, then you probably already ain't voting for him, right?
Yeah.
You agree with that?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
Another great Austin, Texas resident, Elon Musk, will be speaking here later today. Unbelievable. Genius. You guys saw him shoot that rocket into outer space, the largest aircraft ever, fires it off into space, and then parallel parks it back to planet Earth. Meanwhile, Kamala supporters can't parallel park their Toyota Priuses properly. Sorry, I listen to Elon Musk. I follow his lead. The world's smartest, richest man has my attention. Except for when it comes to stock trading, then I listen to Nancy Pelosi.
I mean, he's very crafty. I don't know whether it's making me like really laugh like that, but he's taking some good shots.
Yeah.
But censorship is amongst us, people. It's a very, very, very big deal. And I'm just here to say that you guys are for the right candidate. Tell your friends. Let's close it out. And let's make speech free again. Make America healthy again. Let's beat the team from California. The team from New York should beat the team from California, not only in this election, but in the World Series of Baseball, America's sport. I love you, New York. God bless New York. God bless America. Let's make it great again. I love you. Wow, isn't that...
All right, well, sad to say it, the Yankees got blown out by the Dodgers.
Yeah, did you see all the looting in LA?
Oh no. I mean, leave it to LA. Any excuse.
They're looting a Nike store, and I think they set fire to a bus.
Yeah, typical. Yeah, I mean, I feel like at some point it's like there hasn't been a protest in a long time. So it's like these motherfuckers just like, yo, damn, I got to get up on some free stuff, any excuse, So it's like your team wins. It's like a positive. So your reaction is to go out and do. But anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was that.
They said someone else at this rally said Kamala is the devil. David Rem.
Okay.
Said she's
Kamala's
the devil. And then
Trump is Hitler, Kamala's the devil. Okay.
Yeah. Right. And then also he talked about this deportation program when he came out, which I thought was amazing. Honestly, I fully support it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's a tough one. Yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe that's a missed opportunity. I didn't hear what he said. I honestly didn't watch. I was about to go to the rally, but then I was like, I'm not gonna. I wanted to go and just film, but I was like, yo, I'm not gonna get in. I'll have to film from outside, and I probably should have gone, but
yeah, no, he said when he said he's gonna launch the largest deportation initiative that we've ever seen, and I think that based on everything we've been talking about with immigration, for me, I think it's a great plan. Honestly, I mean, the only risk is that it's hard to know. It's hard to know that everything will be,
that everyone that you're deporting is actually
right,
recent immigrant, and it is definitely tough, and it's going to be super expensive. No way to get around that.
Yeah, but I think his intention is to balance. The intention I think is good, just like the wall. The people take the intention the wrong way. I mean, the intention is let's fix this. Let's take some actions to fix this. And
right.
I think that's good. It needs to be fixed. The illegal, illegal, you shouldn't be somewhere if you're illegal. And I was illegal for more than 10 years.
I was just about to say.
Yeah, but it's different because here there's not.
But you're white. You're white, so it doesn't count, right?
No, I mean it's different.
Say it. Just say it, bro.
the state of the country is different. It's not struggling as much as you've said. With the hotels.
Well, I don't think that anyone would be saying
and the crimes
anything about the immigration if it was managed properly and the people coming in were vetted better.
Yeah.
So legal or illegal, if you're here and you're working and you're productive and you're contributing to society, people, despite popular opinion, American people are very warm and inviting. And on an interpersonal level, let me not speak for everyone, but, people are hospitable to other people. And we are a very diverse group of people here in this country. And just by default, we embrace people's differences. But, when you have a couple news stories that paint you in a certain light, I guess we're all susceptible to that propaganda, people being killed by migrants, people's apartment buildings being taken over, people's houses being squatted in, and then the, long-term implications of, the drain on resources and infrastructure and, social services that people who have been here for generations have relied on. Then you're pulling at people's heartstrings, and it becomes a different thing. It's really, I mean, if you think about it, the same kind of media manipulation could be at play on both sides regarding immigration, because there are definitely, I can't deny that there are some really solid people that I know who are, first generation immigrants. But hey, anyway, that was the Hinchcliffe video. And before we get off, I wanted to play a clip of AOC responding to this moment, this rally, and see what she thinks about it. Obviously,
queen.
Obviously it's going to be an extreme reaction.
She's the worst, yo.
I don't know. I'd hit it, but
I'd hit it too, but she's the worst.
100%. I agree. All right.
Thanks for being here. You called this out last night. You were hanging out with Tim Walz. You guys were streaming. You called it out last night. Fresh eyes on it this morning. When you see that remark and you see now that comedian responding to you guys, I'll read a bit of it for you. I know you've seen it, but for everyone out there, these people have no sense of humor. While that a vice presidential candidate would take time out of his busy schedule to analyze a joke taken out of context to make it seem racist. I love Puerto Rico and vacation there. I made fun of everyone. Watch the whole set. I'm a comedian, Tim. Might be time to change your tampon, is what he ends it with. What does it mean today? What does it do today?
This honestly isn't really about a comedian. This is about the Trump campaign. That individual saying those things on that stage.
Inciting. Can I just say, all right, this is not about a comedian. This is about the Trump campaign. This is all about the comedian because he said it. You're trying to make it about the Trump campaign, right? I mean, fair enough. That's a completely, she's steering the conversation and steering the perception to what she wants it to be about.
But that's what everyone is upset. That's what people are saying. That's the main argument, is that he's bringing people on to incite hate and deliver hate speech, basically, divisive speech. So
he's responsible for what comes out of the mouth of another person.
But kind of he is. That's why I didn't appreciate.
Well, all right. I guess
it's come on, you don't bring an opener unless you know who they are. You're endorsing the person by
but do you think he was like, let me hear what your bits are?
No, but he knows who the type of comedian he is.
Yeah, 100%.
He knows he's a roast comedian. That's the point. And even Hinchcliffe said, it's free speech and it's lighthearted. It's comedy,
Yeah. No, and I think I agree with that. We both agree with that, but obviously it's being taken a totally different way.
Yeah, and I think the Democrats do it just as much, if not more. Put him down and put the other party down, and kind of.
Yeah, I mean, there was the Biden comment about Trump supporters being garbage, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, and there's all kinds of degrading comments from both sides about, but
Kamala takes every opportunity to make it about Trump.
Oh, of course, they all do. Yeah, I mean, Kamala, 100%, just like AOC's do. But I guess the difference is that this comedian is singling out a specific ethnic group or a specific group of people, not Trump supporter or not. He's just talking about Puerto Ricans
and blacks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean,
but come on, there's no.
It was just, yeah. I mean, it was tactless to do that in that setting. I think it was
yes, I agree. I think he regrets.
If you are really a Trump supporter, why you you're fucking with his chances.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like,
I think even in retrospect, he probably didn't realize the backlash that would have. I think because the rest of it, I think, was smart.
Unless my theory is correct and he wanted to go viral.
Yeah, maybe. But like the other stuff, like I take my investment advice from Pelosi. These are smart digs, they're
right.
Like they're well thought out and crafted jokes, political jokes. And he's not even a political comedian, so
right.
But I agree. I think that those two, it's just you kind of have to read the culture a little bit, and know that they're gonna take it out of context. So I think without those two comments, everything else was pretty fair, right?
Yeah. I mean, for the setting, I think overall as a comedian, it was all fair game. But in that setting, you take out those two jokes. I don't think they have.
Yeah, I think in retrospect, he probably regrets those two comments.
True indeed. All right.
But you're right. I think all press is good press, as you said, and I think
for him personally, right? So he put himself over the campaign, and I mean, so who knows? You can only speculate.
Arena of individuals who have been previously incited to commit attacks like the ones we saw on January 6th by people like Donald Trump. None of that was an accident. These campaign events are put together. They are vetted. That language was vetted by the Trump campaign. That person was approved by the Trump campaign because he is speaking on behalf of the Trump campaign. And I think it's really important that people understand that when we see everything that's happening, what is being transmitted and said about Latinos in the United States is exactly what the Trump campaign means. He believes that Latinos, as we've seen, are an unimportant, unvalued, and unnecessary part of the United States of America. And when Stephen Miller comes on and talks about America for Americans, he's not even talking about U.S. citizens as Americans, because Stephen Miller kind of flirts with this idea of taking away U.S. citizenship from people depending on his own personal opinions about what being an American means. And so the Trump campaign is very clearly transmitting who they believe is an American and who they don't, not based on citizenship, but based on ethnicity and based on their opinion of Donald Trump.
When we look back at the numbers and the gains he has made with Latino voters since 2016, from 2016, depending what you're looking at with the numbers now, you see a 9-point gain. You've seen Harris I've seen 12 points fewer than Hillary Clinton got in 2016, seen some recent gains in some new polling just out yesterday that she's making with Latino voters. How do you explain it? How do you explain that Trump is making ground with Latinos?
I think ironically, it's because he realized that he needed to keep his mouth shut with his bigotry for a very long period of time in order to try to make some kind of disingenuous case to the Latino community. But the fact
you don't believe him when he speaks to it.
Pardon?
You said disingenuous. You do not think when he speaks to Latino voters, when he speaks to helping when he's in Nevada speaking to workers.
No. I mean, you don't insinuate that Latinos are un-American or less American if you actually value them. He wants to be president of the United States. He'll say what he needs to say. But at the end of the day, when you look at what Kamala Harris does, she actually ironically unveiled her platform and plan for Puerto Rico yesterday, before that rally even started. And that plan involves actually addressing the displacement crisis that Puerto Ricans are facing right now, the displacement of doctors and teachers, the closures of schools and public facilities, the lack of investment in infrastructure, and as a Puerto Rican American, extremely concerned about people using tax loopholes to displace people in Puerto Rico. She's actually trying to see and solve and create opportunities for Puerto Rican Americans. And you see the contrast of Donald Trump maybe trying to distract from the fact that he has no economic plan for.
You call them Puerto Rican Americans, but can they vote? Are they voting in this election?
They are not allowed to vote. No. Well, in Puerto Rico, they can't vote. I don't know about Puerto Rico.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, Puerto Ricans that are living here, but I'm talking about people in Puerto Rico.
No, they can't vote.
It's a little bit of hypocrisy, right?
Yeah,
it's like you're so concerned, but then and the displacement thing. It's like tax loopholes for basically people from out here who are going out there to invest in real estate and as a kind of like a tax shelter, right? I'm assuming. But you're basically talking about, she wants to find ways to tax motherfuckers who decide to go out there and live in Puerto Rico, even though Puerto Rico is allegedly part of the United States. Right?
Not allegedly, it is part of the United States. It's a state.
Yeah, but Puerto Ricans who live in Puerto Rico can't vote. Is that true?
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really buy that she did any plan. Like, we've never heard any plans out of her. Like,
I mean, we haven't heard a lot of shit, so it's possible. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and whatever plan there is, there's multiple layers to it, like an onion. And it's like, on the surface, it looks fucking nice and glossy, but when you get to the middle, it's fucking rotten. And there's like always, talk about loopholes. These are things that are conjured up to appeal to prospective voters, and there's usually very little substance. And this is not just about Kamala. This is I would even put Trump in there. Like, most politicians, they sell you something during the election, and the percentage of what they offer to the electorate that that they actually follow through with during their term in office, it's minuscule, if anything. Sometimes they just make a U-turn and go the opposite direction. But all right.
Yeah, Trump's promising to open the JFK files and Martin Luther King files.
Yeah.
But then, remember on Joe Rogan, he said that?
Yeah. No, I remember. We'll see. She's a sexy.
Yeah, definitely.
Those lines in her forehead, that's just strictly from that. Those are like, I mean, I don't want to say anything that's too offensive, but those are like what I would call in my world, like nag lines, like, like, why didn't you pick up your socks? I cook dinner, so you need to do the dishes. That kind of thing.
For me, she's the poster child for wokeness, for like, ultra, like too woke, like go to sleep,
Yeah.
Have a nap, lady.
Yeah, I mean, nap. Look how high her eyebrows are. Her eyes are wide open. She's not napping.
No, but she's too woke. She needs to be less woke. That was the joke.
I would love to butter those tonsils, though. I wonder what she looks like in like a bikini. Are there pictures of AOC in a bikini?
There's fake ones, probably.
Yeah,
you know how there's fake porn.
Yeah. With like the 36 double D's and the No, I know. I want to see like real, like her on vacation with her, like,
It's probably nothing special.
It's probably like straight washboard type thing. Okay. Anyway, I'm like kind of tired of hearing her talk, but there's 3 more minutes. You want to finish it out?
Yeah, go ahead.
Latinos in general, but also not only that, blaming economic issues, for example, our housing crisis, on Latinos and on immigrants. Instead of actually coming up with a plan to help lower our cost of rent and mortgages, he's coming out here just trying to blame immigrants for the fact that it's actually his buddies and friends that are driving up the cost of housing in America.
Speaking of broader campaign, I've seen Trump-aligned PACs. I've seen it on air and I've seen it digitally. Trump-aligned PACs have used you in ads to hit Kamala Harris, saying to label her San Francisco liberal is the term that they often use again and again. Do you think your support for her hurts her with moderate voters, which we have very clearly seen in the recent weeks that she's making a direct appeal to?
I don't think so. And I think that bears out in the data and the evidence, not just a matter of personal opinion. I work very closely alongside many of my colleagues across the House Democratic Caucus, and they are of all different kinds of political opinions. And frankly, I think moderate voters and everyday people see right through some of these scare tactics for what they are. They see how they are exaggerations. They see that these are kind of just baseless attacks. And that's made evident by the fact that I'm proud to be able to support, swing district Democrats, and they're not afraid of these attack ads. They're just not landing and they're not effective.
You know what I heard? I don't know if it's true or not. I heard that AOC is pregnant. Right?
Yeah.
Like, do those look like pregnant titties right there?
My friend.
All right, but I heard that she's pregnant, but not coming public with it because it kind of undermines the whole abortion issue with Kamala. Right? That's crazy, right? I mean, if that's true, I mean, I don't know. But we'll see. We'll find out after the election. But she's waiting till the election is over to come public with her pregnancy.
But what does that mean? Because Kamala supports.
Well, a big issue is abortion. So it's like, if you're, I mean, I don't know what the connection is. I don't think it means anything. But I think that, like I've heard people say, it is kind of a silly stance to take, but just kind of speculating that the reason why she's not coming public with her pregnancy is because of the abortion issue. And
I don't understand the link of her.
Me neither entirely, but I think I read this on Reddit somewhere. I don't even know if this is true. Maybe she's not pregnant at all. But
if it was true, I still wouldn't understand the link.
Yeah, and there's no. Well, the link would be you're promoting abortion rights for women. Now, this is not me. This is not my stance on it. I'm just trying to paraphrase the argument, right? Which I don't think I agree with. But anyway, that you're pushing abortion, promoting abortion as a right, as a woman's rights issue.
Mm-hmm.
My body, my choice. And I think the way it was.
Oh, because she's not married or something like that.
I don't know. No, I don't know. But just like pushing abortion, but for women who really have no means to, I guess.
No, I think I don't think it makes sense because even if they're pro-choice.
No, I'm not saying it makes sense. I'm not saying it makes sense at all. I'm just saying what like an angle I heard on Reddit, and it's kind of silly.
But the angle doesn't make sense, is my point, because even if they're pro-choice, even if she's single,
it's about choice. So you choose to have it, or you choose not to have it.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah,
but the thing that she said about Trump is blaming the housing crisis on Latinos or something. Do you know what she's talking about?
I think not entirely. I'm assuming it has to do with
it's probably something that he said, like usual, that they take out of context, as you've
I don't know exactly what she's referring to. Only thing
that's the thing. She's making these accusations that he's blaming the Latinos for housing crisis, but did that even happen? That's my point,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I doubt it. Even if he did say something to that nature, as we've already investigated together, it's taken out of context. I mean, he's not a
I don't know. We'd have to do a little research into that. I
Yeah,
have no
but
idea.
I think that the main thing that I'm realizing is that people peg him as this person that hates and devises and uses white supremacists for support and money and all this. And I think all of these things, even January 6th, is that what we looked into? He was talking about the statues, right? Or no, that was Charlottesville.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't pull up that video, but I've seen that whole speech. I think I was watching it live also. And he was not explicitly telling anyone to go bum rush the Capitol. He was saying, we're going to go march over to the Capitol and peacefully protest, and we're going to fight.
I doubt he said peacefully, but I think it was.
No,
both sides.
He did.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I think both sides take it out of context. I think that his supporters take it as a call to arms, and then his detractors or anti-supporters, whatever it's called, take it as hate speech or inciting violence.
Well, I don't think it's that black and white. I think the extreme supporters, maybe some, but I also think that there's a high probability that there were other elements instigating and kind of fanning that fire to kind of
it's a good example. It's a good example of this. What was that whole movement called? Do you remember the movement during Trump's presidency? There was a whole secretive movement. You don't remember what that was?
The QAnon thing?
Yes, QAnon. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I never was able to wrap my head about it. That's another one. I mean, because there was a whole documentary about it.
Yeah, I watched one of them. It was interesting. It was kind of like, it was basically, I think what they found out was that it was just some person, right? Some random person who was kind of, using Trump's unpredictability to kind of associate all of these things with Trump, whereas I don't think Trump had anything to do with it, but people were reading into it and being like, oh yeah, QAnon is Trump's way to communicate with us, basically,
Right.
And it had nothing to do with Trump. I think that's the main theme that I'm learning.
The fact that something like that can get can catch on like that speaks
like wildfire, and people swear by it. They're like, "Oh, this is everything," This is
but there was also a lot of like the way that the media covered it. I mean, I feel like that's something that they could have drilled down on really early and put that to bed, and they just left it kind of ambiguous, like like these people believe in it, but like instead of just doing that investigation up front and QAnon is Bert in Iowa sitting in his basement, like they could have done that from the gate. It's not that hard, but the ambiguity that they allowed to remain kind of fed it, and it's silly if you think about it, because I don't think anybody serious really believed that it was Trump or it was,
No, I think a lot of the Trump supporters did. They thought.
No, I don't think a lot of them. I think that a segment of them.
Yeah, the crazy.
I think at the end of the day, it was an opportunity to paint Trump supporters as being crazy. That's why it was left so ambiguous and so kind
of. But at the same time, it also gave the actual crazy ones something to believe in, thinking that Trump was behind it, you know? Like it
100%.
It was interesting. I mean, it was complex, but it was interesting that I think, you know, it's worth revisiting.
No, but I think that the ambiguity and the fact that nobody was like really doing a deep dive and trying to debunk the validity behind it allowed for more people that might not have caught on initially or at all to kind of like entertain, like, oh, well, maybe there is something behind the QAnon thing, and maybe it's not Trump, but maybe it's like some intelligence person or somebody's doing, you know, disseminating this information, and then, like, you know, more people that, you know, more people became susceptible to it because it lingered in this in that ambiguity for longer.
It reminds me of that that lady Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's psycho, and she loves Trump. So it's kind of like, you know, your association with weirdos makes you a weirdo, you know? And
yeah, that's definitely true.
So anyway,
so that makes you a weirdo. Sorry.
Yeah.
Flip side of this, she has gone on a whole tour with former Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney to try to win moderate Republicans. I mean, looking back, you and Liz Cheney in the House, you guys butt heads on issues over and over again. She calls Liz Cheney a true patriot when they were campaigning together. Is that hurting Kamala Harris with more progressive voters?
Well, listen, I think there's plenty of people that aren't happy about that. And I think that is part of the nature of putting together a coalition. I don't love it, but that doesn't mean that we aren't on the same team and we aren't on the same page when it comes to who is unequivocally the better candidate in order to win the presidential election.
On the issues, her evolution on positions, and she's explained the evolution on her positions from 4 years ago: fracking, border wall, border security, Medicare for all. They have moved from more progressive to more moderate. That's the direction you very clearly see in this election. Do you like that she is doing that? Do you like that shift?
I think that my stances on these issues are very clear. I believe that every single American has the right to health care, and we should be working to guarantee to improve and expand Medicare and lower the age of eligibility to 0. And that's my goal. I also believe that we need to have a real plan to document people who wish to come into the United States and contribute to our growing economy and really be part of what is charging the economy, which is frankly also what bears out in the data. That's not a matter of personal opinion. The American economy thrives because of our immigrant population, the way that we address the crisis.
I agree with that last statement that she said, actually, to be honest with you. I mean, there's nothing wrong with what she said. We need to document people who want to contribute to our growing economy. And
so you mean even if they came illegally, if they're productive, we should let them.
The problem is that people are coming undocumented. Right. That we don't have any paper trail on these people and no record of their identity.
So you have no idea if they'll contribute or take.
I do agree with that last statement. Let's see where she goes with it.
This is by actually providing a path to citizenship and documenting people. And, you know, when it comes to the climate crisis, our time is ticking down. But what I believe is that the Democratic Party is a coalition. And the stronger we make our...
Now, this I agree with Trump on, is that climate, global warming, that might be a threat, some level, but a much greater threat is nuclear warming and the threat of World War III and instigating all of these nuclear powered nuclear countries into some kind of conflict that, you know.
Wait, before I address the climate change thing, let me ask you. So documenting, how would that even look? So if you're talking about not coming in illegally versus legally, you're talking about having
that's just what we have been talking about. It means that you are limiting people entering the country to those that
have a history.
And can enter through legitimate, entry points, with proper documentation, proper declaration.
But how does that look if you document an illegal person who doesn't have documentation? What do you give them a name and you start from day zero? I don't get it.
Well, they were doing fingerprinting. Under Trump, they were doing fingerprinting. They stopped under Biden. So why would they stop fingerprinting people? That would be one way. If they don't have ID, you can fingerprint them and assign them an ID, some kind of, that's a pretty legitimate way of identifying somebody.
So that disregards any history, and it just
disregards if they claim they don't have it, So if you have somebody who just traveled hundreds of thousands of miles, I don't know how far, I guess thousands, right? But did I say hundreds of thousands? That would be like to the moon and back, right? No. But like someone who's traveled great distances, let me just say that, and for whatever reason they don't have any ID, or a person, you have little kids with no ID, or you have people who, in a party of 10 or 20 where some have, some don't, you could fingerprint these people.
Yeah, but
and then have some kind of legit, like some kind of formal process where they come in and they're identified, or but
that doesn't solve the problem. That gives them a chance to do over and start a new life as this new person in this new country. The whole point is
that at least they're documented.
Yeah, but the whole point is that if they go through illegal channels, there's a due process to see if this person has a criminal history, if this person
go through legal channels. I mean, yeah, right. No. I hear you. Yeah, no, I know. I get what you're saying, and I agree with that.
So documenting doesn't
ideally. Yeah, I honestly couldn't say, because fingerprinting probably doesn't solve the problem completely, but forcing people to come through legitimate entry points or ports of entry, that I think is definitely a hell of a lot better than what we have going on now.
I agree.
Yeah.
Case. And the stronger that we say we need to get big money out of politics, we need to tax these billionaires so that to the point that they stop manipulating our economy and squeezing the working class. I know what candidate the progressive flank has a fighting chance with, and it's not Donald Trump, it's Kamala Harris.
Congresswoman, thank you for coming in this morning.
Really appreciate your time.
And to address the climate change, I agree that nuclear is a more urgent threat, but it's apples and oranges. Nuclear is not climate. Climate is climate. Climate is environmental. Nuclear is, chemical. So it's different. It's like different. It's, you're talking about two different things. Nuclear is definitely a more urgent threat.
Well, I mean, either way, you got to prioritize what you spend your resources on, so it's like where you put your focus, where you devote your time.
Yeah, but countries with nuclear weapons, throwing money at them is not going to do anything, No,
not throwing money at them, but just what is our priority? Is our priority, listen.
But that's my point. You can't do anything to avoid. The only thing you could do to avoid a nuclear attack is to not, be an asshole to those countries, right? Environmental is different. There's a lot of things.
Right. If you're talking about a threat to an existential threat to humanity, and you're putting all this emphasis on what you're claiming is an existential threat. Meanwhile, you're funding wars, provoking wars with nuclear armed countries.
That's true.
That's kind of a contradiction.
I see your point. Yeah. No, that's a good clarification. Yeah. I think that, of course, not funding war is definitely the top priority for sure. But I also think that climate change is a threat. It's a more long-term threat, but it's avoidable. That's the thing. I think the main issue, the difference really is with nuclear war, with wars and nuclear powers, average citizens have no power over that. We could choose our candidate, but then it's up to them to not fund a war, or whoever is the money, like the military industrial complex, whatever. But with climate change, there's a lot of things that we can be doing better, in terms of energy and recycling and all of this stuff that does deserve some budget and some.
Yeah, but still, with regards to priority, it doesn't make sense to invest all that capital into trying to make the world green when you are diverting funds or sending funds to support wars between other countries.
I agree.
Where the consequences of those wars could be an instant end to everything versus a slow, drawn out decline,
Yeah, I agree.
But anyway, I think on that note, we'll wrap it up. All right. Well, I found the little comic routine passable as far on a comedic level. I understand. I just think strategically it was just a poor choice.
Yeah, I think those were two small missteps. But again, I think people are associating those two missteps with Trump being a bigot.
Yeah, but those people are predictable. So what are you doing dropping shit like that in that forum?
Yeah, they're predictable, but they also brainwash people, and people aren't necessarily, hip to the content.
Well, no, I mean, I wouldn't call it brainwashing. Like, if you
or spinning,
you have to respect the sensibilities of certain people, and saying something or demeaning a whole country or Commonwealth. What is Puerto Rico? A country?
It's a state. It's a U.S. state.
Okay, but demeaning a whole group of people is just it's not an intelligent use of.
But how did he demean a whole group of people?
By calling them garbage.
He didn't call them garbage. He said there's an island of garbage
called Puerto Rico.
I think it's called Puerto Rico. Anyway, it was clearly a joke. I'm sensitive to this.
No, of course. Yeah,
I agree with you. I think it was not the right time or place to make that joke, for sure. Just like the watermelon one. But again, that being said, it's not, he didn't do anything maliciously, in my opinion.
No, I hear you. I agree.
All right. So the next
have a good night.
You too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Peace.
Get up. Easy.